right, everybody, welcome to One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars, and thank you for joining me today on July 14th. It is July 14th. Let that sink in. We are already getting almost through the summer already, and as we're getting ready to talk to Bria tonight, you're going to find out she hasn't had much of a summer. She's getting started with the next phase of her life really quickly. So excited to have Bria Boessen on the program tonight, and we just did her article in the May-June issue of Sports Soccer Magazine, and you can catch that there in the printed version if you don't happen to have it. It is at Hy-Vee as well as Cal's Thriftway in California. If you aren't able to get a printed version, then you can also go to the digital page and see the digital edition on sportslockermagazine.com. See, there's some great pictures, and I love the title, The Rush, The Ride, The Heart. She kept herself really busy during high school, and now she's keeping herself really busy as she's getting started in the next phase of her life. So we're very honored and thankful to have been able to interview her and my photographer, my daughter Katie, and my son-in-law Jay as we were out there and taking her pictures. Just such a neat young lady, and I think you will say the same as we go through and do this interview tonight. I do want to tell you that if you have any comments or questions, make sure that you share that in the comment section, and we'll try to include that in on the program. Make sure that you like and share the program so that your other family members, friends can check out the interview as well. I think you're going to enjoy it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring Bria on here. Hi, Bria. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Um, we're gonna talk a little bit more about, what you're doing now, but you jumped right into school. I mean, quickly.
Yeah, June
Yeah.
2nd.
Yeah. Well, again, quicker you get in, the quicker you get it done, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to get through it so then I can get to making money.
Okay. Well, you're gonna do great. Speaking of doing great, you did an outstanding job with your interview and the photography session that we have. So, what did the article in the magazine? What did that mean to you?
It honestly meant a lot to me because I've always seen other people, like, I always have seen people in the article and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I loved reading them. So then when I got asked to be in the article, it meant a lot to me and I was really excited to do it.
Well, I think the neat thing is that as we talk to the athletic directors, as we did with your athletic director, they get together with the coaches and then they select the student athletes that they want to represent the school in the magazine. And we do 6 issues a year, so there's only 6 of you, and so that should mean a lot to you that they chose you for that as well. So, good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Talk to us a little bit about the photo shoot and what was that experience like? Because you had to do some changes of clothes, right?
Yeah, I kind of came into the photo shoot and I was like, I don't know what sport you want to do because I play softball and basketball. And I was like, if you guys are open to it, I'd love to do both because I couldn't really pick a favorite. And they were like, yeah. So then we started in the gym with basketball and then did some pictures in there, which was really fun. They played around with the lighting and stuff. And then I changed right away and we went down to the field and did some pictures on the field too, which was cool too, that they could change the lighting out there too to make it look good.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun, and we'll just explain to everybody else. But typically, we do 3 issues at a time. So we had you for your issue, and then we had two other student athletes for, I think it was the March, April, and then the January, February one. And so you guys were all just very efficient, getting your uniforms on, being where we needed to be, had your equipment, and it was a go time. But we enjoyed getting out there and doing that with you. So I do have this question. What did your family and friends think about your article, and what were they saying?
My family and friends loved it, and I was like, I told them I was May June, and like the whole month of May, like everyone was like, "Where's your article? Where's your article?" Like everyone was looking for it. And then like after it was posted, I had a bunch of people like send me parts of it that they could like either tell I was talking about them or they were like, "This part's awesome," like stuff like that, which made me feel good too.
Yeah. All right. So did you give any autographs?
No autographs.
No. Yeah. You got to at least have some, parents or siblings or friends or they got to at least get your autograph. I mean, that's got to be
I
worth
think my
something.
grandparents I think my grandparents saved every copy they could find, so
Okay. Very
that's
good.
close enough.
That's great. Grandparents are awesome. All right. So why don't you talk a little bit about how you got started with softball and why you loved it so much?
Okay, I got started with softball because of my dad. And honestly, I just grew up around it. My dad played slow pitch, and then all of my cousins played softball, and I'm the youngest girl cousin, so I like went to all their games and everything. But then my dad was my coach until I was 14, so from T-ball to when I was 14, so he taught me like all the basics and the fundamentals, and then I just kind of loved it from there, from not only the game but everything that came with it, the friendships and just getting to spend time with not only my dad but my teammates. So that just was why I loved it so much.
Good. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of the different positions you played and which ones were your favorite?
Okay, I started off when I was younger. I played the infield a lot. I played like short and third. And then when I got to high school, everything changes when you get to high school because everyone's good at every position. So then I was just fighting for the open spot, which at the time was in the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
So I just adjusted pretty quickly and I was fighting for left or right at the time. Center was taken, but just whatever I could get. And then actually my junior year, I like kind of had the outfield spot, but
Mm-hmm.
they were like, it's not a guarantee. So if you want to try the other spot, which was an infield spot, they were like, you should do it. So then I tried it, and then I did pretty well my junior year in the infield at second base. So then I kind of stuck there throughout
Okay.
junior and senior year.
Just versatile. You can pretty much play everywhere.
Yeah, but that
Good.
keeps it fun. So
Yeah, it does. Very good. It speaks of your ability to adapt and then literally to do whatever's needed for the team. So that's great. Uh,
yeah.
Talk about once you got into high school. I mean, you kind of shared a little bit about the change in positions and the different things that you did. But why don't you talk about some of your memorable moments um, in high school and just kind of what that all looked like?
High school was a lot of fun because in softball, I made the varsity team my freshman year. So I got to kind of grow as a player with the older players, which helped a lot. But they also just took me in, and I was friends with a lot of them. So the memories are fun. Like we went to state my freshman year, and I can just remember I stayed in a room with all upperclassmen, and when I was showering, they all came in and dumped a bucket of ice water on me and told me it was the ritual. And
Hmm.
it's just like funny stuff like that. That was, yeah, it was because I was a freshman, but it made the
Hmm.
game fun outside of the field. So,
Okay. You know, my mother used to do that. She used to sneak into the bathroom and throw a bucket of ice water over the top when I was in the shower. I mean, my own mother. That is just not right. I will say this: I return the favor, so it's okay.
there you
Uh,
go.
you also played a lot of summer ball. Why don't you talk a little bit about that and some of the memorable moments you had there?
Okay. In the summer, that's when I first started playing for my dad. We had a travel team called the Shockers, and some of my favorite memories were from that team. But then when I was 14, I changed teams to a team called the Avengers, which was just another local team. And I got to stay with a lot of my best friends that I played with before. So I just have a lot of good memories of playing softball with all my best friends, like basically my whole life. And we like we had fun on the field, like winning and doing all different kinds of tournaments and stuff, but we also had a lot of fun just at practice or like in the hotels, just spending time with one another.
Okay. What was your favorite place to travel when you were doing that?
Um, we didn't travel that much as a travel ball team, but we would do like maybe 3 or 4 out of town tournaments.
Hmm.
I didn't really have a favorite, but we won a lot in Kansas City, so that was always
Hmm.
fun. But it was just fun to go out of town and stay in a hotel
Yeah.
with the team for a weekend and stuff.
Were your teams, were they made up of some of the other players that you competed against during high school, and how did that all work out?
Yeah, it was like a lot of teams. So basically, the Avengers was like local teams. So Helias, Blair Oaks, Eugene was the majority of it. So that was always fun, just like getting to play against them.
Hmm.
Because once we played, Blair Oaks played Eugene, and one of my friends that was on my travel ball team had to actually pitch. It
Ooh.
was like for the JV, but it was I could not stop laughing because she is not a pitcher.
Uh-huh. All right. So when you go and play high school and you're playing against some of those other student athletes that you've been competing with during the summer, do you give the other players on your team little tips like they usually like to hit this way? This is their tendency. Did you share some of that information?
Sometimes I would, but it'd more be like, hey, this girl's really good, back up kind of
Okay.
thing.
Well, that's
Yeah.
important. That's good. All right.
Yeah.
Talk about some of your career accolades and any awards that you received, and what did that mean to you?
Okay. I didn't really get that many like all like honors in a way, but I got academic all-state 3 out of the 4 years. And then at Blair Oaks, they do like at our banquets, they'll
Hmm.
give awards to players. And in my senior season, I think I got 3 or 4 awards, just like we call it like the Falcon Award, just
Hmm.
being a good teammate, and then uh maybe like I don't really remember for sure, but maybe something to do with defense,
Hmm.
and then just
Those are all
like
great.
the player of the year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
You say that so nonchalantly, like the player of the year kind of thing. No,
yeah.
that's great. No, because these, those are the important things. Like academic all state. I mean, that's a great accomplishment right there. So outstanding job there, and you were also captain on both
Mhm.
softball and basketball. So, I mean, when I'm talking about accolades and awards, I mean that's the stuff that's important because you are somebody that your teammates and your coaches are looking to, and that speaks more volume than anything else as far as I'm concerned. So good job.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like my stats never really showed enough to give me like a all district award, but it made me like I cared more about my teammates, the way
Yeah,
they felt about me than the way the stat sheet showed. So,
absolutely, and that's an outstanding characteristic of a leader. So good job. So talk
thank you.
about being captain and what what did you do? What kind of legacy did you feel like you left behind?
Do you want me to talk about just softball or softball and
Do
basketball?
both. You can do both. Yeah.
Okay. Because they're a little bit different. So for softball, this year we had a new coach, Taylor Deeroff, and she like had the role of a captain as like a position basically, and she had pretty high standards for me and Ava Wilson, my other co-captain. Not as in like the way we had to perform, but the way we carried ourselves, just showing the team like how we should carry ourselves, not only at practice but in games, which is really important. And not that we didn't have that kind of leadership before when Sharon was the coach, but it just like I feel like she put it more on it so you felt like, yes, I need to be the person who's always hustling. I need to be that person. And then that just was the leader I tried to be. I wanted everyone to know that I was always hustling,
Hmm.
and I wanted to just show them that that's what they should be doing. And in basketball, it was very similar. Just basketball, in my personal opinion, is not like a. It is fun, but it's hard because you have to be very mentally tough
Hmm.
to get through a hard basketball practice, and I think that's where the captain part came in because I had to just push the other girls
Hmm.
to continue to practice and do their best because a lot of the time we didn't want to be there, but you are playing basketball because you like it. So
Right.
you wanted to be there. So I just had to remind the girls why they were there and everything.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. You were saying it was basically two different types of leadership roles that you had as a captain. You know, some people would think that it might be the same thing, but you are adjusting to two different types of sports, two different types of environments and motivational needs. Basketball, you're going all the time, constantly.
Hmm.
Softball, you're getting people into position and you're trying to make sure that each person's in the right position as the batter's up there and getting ready to hit. So, no,
Exactly.
that's very good. Thank you for explaining that. That was good. Um, how how did your talk about your teammates and how they inspired you to be better?
Okay. My teammates always meant a lot to me. In softball, it was just like your one team playing different positions. So we just had to find a way to work together. And we had a pretty like new team in a sense because we had to fill a few more positions this year. So that was just interesting trying to figure out the way that the team worked together. And then in basketball, it's the same thing. You each have a different position in a sense, but you also have to be one to like make it all work because if one person isn't playing defense, then it's the other team's going to score on you. So it's more just like figuring out your dynamic, and that's always interesting because same in basketball, we basically had a whole new team. There was only one returning starter, which was me. So it was kind of interesting to figure out how the team dynamic was going to work. And we started to figure it out towards the end, but at the beginning, it
Mm-hmm.
was a little bit, had to test some stuff out.
Sure, absolutely. Um, yeah, that is a challenge too. You know, if you're the only returning starter, and I mean, you kind of know how things are going, and just trying to get people to come up to the level that they need to, and actually even exceeding that level in different times. So, would you say that you were pretty patient with all that, or were there times that were difficult?
I'd say I was as patient as I could be. In the beginning, it was tough, and I just had to have some conversations with my coach and just have her remind me that they're only sophomores because a lot of our starters this year on basketball were
Mm-hmm.
sophomores. And then Belle Besson, she had an injury last year, so
Mm-hmm.
she started, but then she had to restart this year and just figuring out how she was going to play with her knee. So it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of just figuring stuff out, and I wouldn't say I lost my temper, but I just had to remember that they're still young. They don't know everything.
Sure, that's right.
Yeah.
We were all there at one time or another. You were there a lot earlier. I mean, not too far from where you are now. Me, that was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that person. I remember that person had hair, but I don't have it now. So I'm more aerodynamic now, Bria. I'm able to cut through the
That's
wind
right.
faster. Yeah.
You're faster. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, but we'll just say that. All right. Let's talk a little bit about your basketball career and what you enjoyed about that, and tell everybody what position you played.
Okay. In basketball, like I said before, it's a way different sport compared to softball because softball is like in the summer, the sun's still out most of the day, and basketball, it's literally 5 months, and sometimes you'd show up to practice and it'd be dark in the morning, and you'd leave practice or a game and it would be dark, so you don't get to see the sunlight, which is kind of hard sometimes, but it was basketball is still one of my favorites because you still get the rush, and I wouldn't say I'm like a basketball all-star or anything, but just finding ways to be the make the biggest impact on the team I can, like finding my role was fun. And I started on varsity I think my sophomore year, and that was with Brandon Moore was my coach, and I got thrown in a lot just figuring out where I fit in the team. And then I kind of got sat more towards the end of the year, and then I just had to figure out the next year how to grow into a better
Hmm.
player, and then I found my starting position my junior year.
Okay.
So
And what position did you play?
my junior year, I got to play a little bit more of guard because
Hmm.
we had some other ball handlers.
Hmm.
And then my senior year, I went more into the point guard position,
Hmm.
shared with Hattie Meldrum. So it's a little different, but just handling the pressure is
Sure.
something that's hard, but as you grow, it becomes easier. So,
You were the floor general. You were making sure everybody got where they needed to go. That's good.
yeah.
Um, did you enjoy that? Just that responsibility?
Yeah, I did. I kind of like to just not have things my way, but I like to be able to set it up. And I
Hmm.
feel like it was easy for me to calm the team down in situations that they
Hmm.
might want to like go faster or something. Then I could calm them down and get them set back up and then run through a set instead of just going 90 miles an hour and chucking a ball up. So,
Okay. Well, very good. Well, you've done an outstanding job. We've already flown through the first half of the interview, and we'll give you just a minute or so here as we do a break here in between. And just want to encourage those of you that are watching, please feel free to make any comments, share any stories that you have about Bria. Nothing embarrassing though, okay? You know, she doesn't want that. And if you have any questions, feel free to do that too. Bria doing a great job. We'll be back here in just a few moments, okay?
okay.
Okay.
CNS Business Services has been connecting employees with employers since 1977. Recently, CNS rebranded to CNS Employment Solutions to more clearly define their mission of serving the needs of applicants, employees, and businesses while remaining current and evolving with the changes in the workforce. One important thing has not changed. CNS Employment Solutions partners with a wide variety of employers, placing employees in jobs that match their skills and needs.
Say yes to CNS.
All right, CNS Employment Solutions, Paula Benny and her team, they do a fantastic job right here in mid-Missouri. They make sure that people that are looking for jobs find the employer that is needing to fill those jobs. And then for the employers, they get those people to be able to fill those positions. And they do a really good job of connecting the two together. They've been around for a very long time, and not only do they do that as far as making sure people are working in mid-Missouri, they also spend a lot of time doing things outside and volunteering and bringing great things to Jefferson City, like the Redemption Inside the Walls concert, which is now in its seventh year. September 27th this year, CNS will once again be one of the title sponsors, along with Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. And we've got Big Daddy Weave coming to Jefferson City. So mark that on your calendar, September the 27th, Saturday. I think it's at 4:30 is when the gates open. If you need tickets, go ahead and go to redemptioninsidethewalls.com. Uh, as well as having CNS Employment Solutions as a sponsor of the program and the magazine, we also have for Coach of the Issue, which is a very important part of Mid-Missouri sports. We have Big Whiskeys, and they just do a shout out to great coaches like Coach Alex Kendall. And we just appreciate being able to recognize our coaches because they put in so much time pouring into our student athletes, taking away from their own free time, late evenings, weekends, you name it, time away from their families. So we really appreciate being able to tell their stories as well, and just all the wonderful things that they do. So um, we just, again, want to thank Big Whiskeys for sponsoring our Coach of the Issue. All right, so we are now back with Bria, and we've got a couple of comments already. And you didn't hang up on me, so thank you for not doing that. I appreciate that. You've got Grandma Joyce is watching, just letting you know that. Okay. And Cheryl Besson says Bria did a great job of stepping up into her role on both the softball field and the basketball court. Positive leader all around. So those are
Thanks.
the things. Those are the things we like to hear because you know what, Bria, you get to pull those up anytime you want. If you're having a bad day at school, you're working really hard, you can just pull it up and say, I needed something uplifting, and they said those things about me. Very good. All right. Well, we talked about Big Whiskey's and doing the coach of the issue and recognizing coaches. Why don't you tell us about the importance of your coaches that you had in softball and how did they make you to be a better ball player and leader?
Okay. In softball, was lucky enough to have two coaches. I got to have Sharon Bushos as my coach, Coach Bushos, and she just helped me grow a lot as a player, just forcing me to work hard for positions. And like I said, that I was fighting for the outfield spot my freshman, sophomore, junior-ish year, and then she honestly kind of encouraged me to try for the infield because I told her I was like, I used to play infield, and she was like, well, then why don't you fight for the spot? So I went for it, and she did nothing but uplift me the whole time I played that season, and we even got to a point in the season. She was like, Bria, you can relax. You can make an error and you'll still have the spot. So that's when I felt pretty good. And then my senior season I got to have Taylor, Coach D, which was super exciting because she was a assistant coach and then got to move into the head coach role. And it was just fun to have, and I mean this nicely, Sharon, to have a younger coach just who I don't mean it like that, but
I know what you mean.
Coach Bush Jones would know. Just some like we had some different drills and it was just different, but it was fun. And like I said, she had a different label of the captain role, which was also fun to get to experience that with her. And she's honestly just one of my friends now, so it was cool to have her as a coach.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Grandpa and Grandma Weberg are watching and they're sending their love, so they wanted to make sure you knew that. Thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate that. Uh, Bria, how did your coaches how did they challenge you to give your best?
They both just pushed me to have a standard. Like they knew my potential, so they just continued to tell me like I know you can do it. I know you can do it. And I didn't hit in the season. I just played the field. I was the flex, which was fine because I knew that was my role. But Taylor, Coach D, and Coach Bushos often encouraged me. They're like, I know you can do it. You just need to get out of your head, kind of thing. So they just kept pushing me to that standard. And even though I didn't reach it in a sense, I still knew my role on the team, and that's what mattered. And they told me that it was my role and that I was doing good doing my role. So
Good. That's very important, and they could count on you for doing that. So that's good. You did your job. Uh, why don't you talk a little bit about basketball and how your coaches there impacted you?
kind of similar. I had Brandon Moore my freshman and sophomore year, and he did the same thing. He knew what I could do, and he just kept trying to push me to be the best that I could be. And he threw me in the situations, and he knew I was a young player and knew that I was going to make mistakes, but he just wanted me to work through them, which did help me grow and handling the pressure, being a guard. And then my junior and senior year, I had Coach A, and she just did the same thing. She knew how much potential I had, and she knew my knowledge of the game. So she just wanted me to push myself to be the best player I could. She knew that I could be the ball handler, and even though I wasn't wanting to do that at the beginning of the season, she was like, "You can do it," and just kept encouraging me to be the best that I could be.
Talk about that relationship between your coach and you being the captain, because basically, with you being the floor general, you're kind of like the coach on the court. How did you? What was that communication like between you and the coach as far as being able to help you to do what you needed to do out on the court?
Me and Coach A were pretty close as well. I would also consider her one of my friends. And we just always talked. We tried to talk before the game. We would talk a lot at practice. Like sometimes I would stay after and we would just talk about like what we saw the team was doing or different drills that we could do. So not only was she giving me feedback about how I could be a better leader on the court, I was just giving some ideas of things that I thought the team needed to work on, which was good to just have that relationship where I could talk to her like that, because I think not only did it help the team, but it just helped the overall relationship of the team.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good that you had that relationship and that they trusted you and you trusted them. That goes a long way in conveying that trust to your teammates as well. Like you were talking about, your role sometimes is just settling people down, and they're going to settle down when they feel like they can trust you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very good. All right, let's talk about some of the challenges that you had during your career, and what did you do to overcome those?
Okay,
And
I would say
that can
that
be softball or basketball, either one.
okay. Luckily, I was super fortunate and I didn't have any injuries or anything that would hinder my season. I obviously, like all players, have just mental things they have to get over. Like in softball, it was just hitting in general. I'd get in my head a lot, and same with basketball. Like if I would make some errors, then I'd get in my head. But just coming like growing as a player and realizing that it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay if I only play the field. That was just a big part of me growing as a player. And yeah, but I was lucky I didn't really have any what I would call setbacks as a player. So
Well, good. That's good, and
yeah.
especially since the career choice that you're going into. I mean, you know you don't have that experience of the injury and stuff like that, so that's good.
Yeah.
You tell people how to stay healthy, and here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Um, this next question, we got to hear about all this. So, I mean, you have probably a pretty competitive drive, right, in pushing yourself. All right. So, what does Besson level hustle mean?
I would say that I'm a very competitive person and I do not like to lose no matter what it is. And especially so in both sports, but in basketball, I would be the person who will run as hard as I can until I'm beat red in the face, just so I can win or do something for the team. Like in down and backs, I do not like to be last, and I will not be last, even if I'm hurting bad or something. I did get some shin splints. I forgot about that. Basketball, I always get shin splints, and I probably ran like I had a stick up my butt, but I was not going to get last. So I don't know if that's what the best level hustle is,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't like to lose.
Well, good. And we'll talk about that family wise here in just a minute too. But you know, I can remember when I was playing basketball in high school, and my best friend, he was a little bit overweight, and I was somebody that was always tried to be at the front, and running the drills and stuff like that. And we got in big trouble one time, and coach had let me put like 30 minutes on the clock, and we just had to keep running around the gym, and we had to well, first he had 30 minutes on the clock. We had to do a suicides, and then we did 30 minutes on the clock with what they called zippers, and you guys might call it differently, but free throw line back, mid court
Mhm.
back, other free throw line, that kind of thing. And then 30 minutes running around. And my best friend was dogging it, and he was just jogging. So coach had enough, and he hollered out, "Johnson, if DeMars laps you one more time, you're going to run another 30 minutes. DeMars, if you slow down, you're going to run another 30 minutes." I passed him right away. I said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not running anymore." You need it more than I do.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of, I think the best in hustle also is because I would be the person who I'd look at the people next to me and I'd be like, stay with me,
Yeah.
because if we didn't make the time, we'd have to run another one. So I
Yeah.
would just try to encourage them to keep up and try to find some pace so then we all didn't have to run again.
Well, see, there you go. You just made me feel bad because I left my friend behind. All right.
No.
I'm still learning. I'm older. I'm still learning. All right. We got from Beth Sibanek. She said, "You are awesome, Bria. Pretty cool. Parents too. Raised an amazing girl." Thank you for that, Beth. We appreciate that. See, and aren't those nice things that they're saying about you?
They are.
Yeah,
If I ever feel bad, I'll either look at the comments or go read my article again.
there you go. There you go. Let's see. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about what did you really enjoy about your time at Blair Oaks High School?
I enjoyed a lot about Blair Oaks, not really the actual doing the school part. Not that I don't like school, but obviously I don't like homework. But really, Blair Oaks was just more of a family and a community to me because everyone there, it was just tight knit. And all the teachers were super nice and you could talk to anyone, but then there was just so many great kids too. And I never felt like I would never felt, oh, I don't want to go to school because of these people or because of these teachers. I never had that feeling. So I got really lucky just to be in that kind of community at Blair Oaks.
See, you did a good job. You transitioned right into that next one I was going to ask you, and you just took care of us. So that's good. Great job. Uh, who else inspires you to be the best version of yourself?
I'd say overall, my family, I have a really big family. So not only like my aunts and uncles, but especially my mom, dad, and sister. I just have a really good support team, and they came to literally every single one of my games. And almost like my aunt and uncle and grandparents and my whole family really showed up a lot, and that just means a lot to me. And they just encourage me all the time. Just even if I had a bad game, they'd be like, "Get the next one," or always stuff like that. Just a great support system.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about your family. So talk about mom and dad, and what kind of character traits have you picked up from them? What are some of the things that you appreciate about them? Um, what do they mean to you? Just stuff like that.
My parents both just like told me always like to be nice to others, and just like the way that you portray yourself means more than anything. So I've always kept that in mind, but then they also have put like good work ethic in me and just taught me the importance of working hard, which is why I think I hustle so much. And they just have showed me how to work hard and they put me in situations where it is hard. They haven't babied me all my life, which I think is really important. But like I said before, they're both really supportive, same with my sister, and they are always there for me and always show up, which means a lot. And I just want to do that for others, like my
Yeah,
teammates. And
very good. So talk about your sister and what does she mean to you?
my sister means a lot to me. She's older than me, so I look up to her a lot. And yeah, obviously fight, but it's good for us.
So how competitive are the games during family get-togethers or stuff like that? Whether it's board games or outside doing some sport, how competitive does it get?
Oh, pretty competitive. We've learned that if me and her are on the same team against my parents, it's normally better than if it's me against her.
Uh
We
huh.
like to play, like, we have these laser guns and we'll
Uh huh.
just run around the house, and we do better when we're on the same team. Because even if we lose, we still don't get as mad if we lose
Yeah.
against my parents than if we would have lost against each other.
Yeah. There's there's just something about that. I don't know what that is, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So you started up school back here in June. You're going to State Technical College,
Hmm.
and you're pursuing a degree in nursing. Is that correct? Okay.
Yep.
Why don't you talk about that and what are you looking forward to in this next season of your life?
Okay, I am really excited for the next season of my life. I've already started it and it's really hard, but it's supposed to be hard to be a nurse because you're going to be saving people's lives. So, even though it's hard, I'm just grateful that I get to do it, and it's an accelerated program. So, I'll be done May 2027, which is exciting. And then I do want to go back and get my bachelor's degree. I'm hoping I can do that online while I'm working. But yeah, I'm really excited to be a nurse because my family is just, I've seen a lot of hospitals and doctor's offices and whatever else, and I'm just excited to be able to do that and care for people in my family.
Yeah, that's that is a very noble profession, and um, it means a lot to those families, especially when you're there caring for their loved one. I mean, we just went through that last year in May with my father-in-law passing away from cancer. But they had some of the greatest nurses, and
Hmm.
um, they were just still trying to keep everything upbeat for him and comfortable for him,
Hmm.
and that means a lot. So that's a that's a hard profession to be in, though, too, because you're seeing people
A lot
in
of loss. Yeah.
yeah, weak moments and just a lot of pain and stuff like that. So I'm just
Hmm.
gonna pray a blessing over you that you are equipped to be able to do all that, and just to be able to pour out some of that, um, some of those things that your family has taught you to do as far as treating other people. That's going to be huge for your profession. So good job.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, you did an outstanding job. We have flown through, but now we're going to go to the speed round and ask you some fun, quick questions. And you know what? Some
Okay.
some people might chime in and might say, "Well, no, here's what really is the answer on that." But
They
we'll
better
see.
not.
We'll see. All right. So, what was your favorite go-to meal or snack after either a softball or basketball game?
Uh, a lot of desserts. If we had dessert in my house, I would just get a quick bite or like mac and cheese bowls. Something easy because I always got home late
Uh huh.
and we got fed before games and stuff, but then after sweating it all out, you still get hungry sometimes.
Well,
But
sure. What's your favorite
yeah.
dessert?
I like cake, not
Okay.
like with icing. I don't like icing. Just
Okay.
cake or brownies or ice cream. I really like ice
Okay. What's your favorite
cream.
kind of ice cream?
Homemade vanilla ice cream.
No, that you can't. Yeah, that is good. That's not good. So my wife, she just made me a rhubarb pie yesterday. I love rhubarb pie, and she makes it really good. And so I had two pieces today. I don't know that that's good, but I had two pieces today. One for lunch and
Did
one
you
for
eat
dinner.
ice cream with it?
No, I didn't do it. That is one pie that I like to just leave by itself because its flavors and everything are really good. So, uh, Cheryl Besson says ice cream for sure! Exclamation point. Awesome, very good. Uh, what is what's been your favorite place that you've ever traveled to and why?
Like as a school sport kind of thing or like
No, no,
vacation?
just vacation. Yeah.
I went to Belize and that was awesome. That was my first time out of the country
Hmm.
and it was just really cool to see like the other countries and it was beautiful. The water was so clear. I went
Hmm.
snorkeling for the first time. That was awesome.
Didn't see any
So,
sharks, did you?
probably Belize. I did.
You
I
did.
swam
Okay.
with them.
Okay. All right. That's so. What kind of sea life did you see under there? What kind of sharks?
I don't really know what they were, but we were swimming with them and
Okay.
they said they wouldn't eat me. So, I think
So it
it
might
was
have
like
been
nurse sharks
nurse
maybe.
sharks. Yeah, I was gonna say it might have been nurse
Yeah,
sharks. Yeah. Yeah.
cuz they were chumming them up while we were in the water and I was not I did not like that. They would throw the meat like right in front of my forehead and the shark would I did not like
Good.
that.
Now, see, I don't know if that's not right. I mean, chumming the water with sharks in there, and you're in there with them. I don't care what kind of shark it is. That's not good. Oh boy. So I'm just telling you, I wouldn't do that. So you're better you than me. All right. So if there is any place in the world that you could go, where would that be and why?
I think I want to go, or I know I want to go to Turks and Caicos. Really anywhere tropical. And I also want to go to St. Thomas, the island, because I
Hmm.
live in St. Thomas, Missouri. So
Uh
I
huh.
just think that's fitting.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
should get to
anywhere
do that.
tropical. I know. That's
Yeah.
the goal.
Yeah. Very good. Um, so here's the one. This is going to be the tough question. What was your least favorite chore to do around the house and why?
This is easy.
Oh,
It was definitely Definitely like loading dirty dishes. I
Okay.
have a fear, I guess you could say, which I'm brave enough to do it. But
Yeah.
I have a fear of like touching gross food. Like if someone didn't wash off their plate and it's been sitting there for like a day, I hate that. Or
Okay.
wet, mushy food. I don't
Yeah.
know, I'm kind of weird.
Okay. No.
But yeah.
So you wouldn't have liked some of the youth activities that we did at church. We called it the messy games, and so yeah, you wouldn't have liked that at all. Having to crawl
I
between
still
two.
do it, but
You would
I
okay.
gag sometimes.
We had them crawl between two tarps, and they had sprayed ketchup, mustard, all that kind of stuff, and then there was like spaghetti in there, and they were crawling through all that
Oh,
again. Yeah,
no. Mm-mm.
yeah. We had them running and jumping into a little portable pool that had mud in it. Well, somebody messed up and they didn't get actual topsoil. It was manure.
Okay, that doesn't scare me. I'm used to poop.
You're used to that? Okay. But I will never forget, though, this one girl, she did it. And I mean, when we took a picture of her, she was covered so much in dark soil that she looked like a human silhouette just walking around. It was hilarious. But
I hope she got a shower.
she did, yeah. And I would, I'd be out there afterwards trying to hose them all off with cold water, and we'd give
Yeah.
them bags to throw over themselves and stuff. So, well, that I never would do it. I let them do it. So, all right. So you've done an outstanding job. Thank you for coming on tonight. And I want to just give you an opportunity if there's any additional shout outs or any additional things that you would like to share, that would be great. So we do, before you say that though, we have a confirmation from your parents, dirty dishes.
Yep, there we go.
Right there. We'll put it on screen, dirty dishes.
If I had to give a shout out, I just want to shout out to my coaches and teammates just for making me the player I am. And then obviously Blair Oaks was just great for me. I loved Blair Oaks.
Very good. Well, we wish you well on getting your degree and moving forward in your career, and are thankful. Just want to say thank you for what you're going to be doing and serving people. You've served people in high school, and now you're going to be serving people in your career. So, thank you for doing that.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. If you will hold on, I'll visit with you really quickly after the program, and thank you for coming on tonight. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll see you in just a minute. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We were talking to Bria Boessen, former graduate of Blair Oaks High School, and she's studying to be a nurse right now at State Technical College. So I'm just thankful for young people like her, and just her service to our community, and wherever it is that she goes. Make sure that you share this with your friends and family so that they can see Bria's art interview as well. And again, you can check out the digital edition on sportslockermagazine.com. Thank you guys. We appreciate you joining us and just supporting these great student athletes like Bria. All right, I'm your host, Kirk DeMars, and thank you for joining us tonight on One Nation, an SLM Extra. God bless you, and I'll see you next week.